and I had to grab the best immigration lawyer I've ever known, Joseph Patrick Murphy. This is a bad sign, my brother, is it not?
It is, Marty. You look at this, and we're drifting toward a de facto civil war. When local law enforcement won't coordinate with
Mm.
federal law enforcement, the law's not getting enforced right. It's I know we don't like it, but that's the rules. And we've always had police departments cooperating with each other, and I hate to see the order breakdown like that. I know that the topic is the topic, right? Police
Yep.
departments are subject to civilian oversight. And if the civilian government doesn't agree with the federal government, they can, I suppose, lawfully order them to do that. But
Man,
what happens then? What happens then? Well, what you just saw. Now you're going to have more ICE officers here
man,
to back up their existing operations, and you're going to get what they got in Minneapolis, an oversaturation. They have to. They have to stand up for their own officers.
man. So, according to my sources, ICE was engaged in fighting with suspects. They noticed the Pittsburgh cops on the steps of Zone 3 stood there watching, 4-on-4. Are they allowed to ignore someone being hurt in a fight, Joseph
Do the
Patrick Murphy? Huh?
Yeah, the police don't. I mean, generally, they won't ignore it. Right? If it was people were attacking me, I don't think they would ignore it. But there's no real duty that I know of to enforce the law. You can't, for example, if police don't catch someone who harmed you or they don't stop a fight, I'm not sure that they can be sued for that unless they refrain from enforcing the law for a reason to violate your rights or something like that. Here, it's another federal agency. This is or another legal agency, a law enforcement agency. Um, it's just an ugly situation. It's a nasty kind of thing to do. It's kind of a
It's bad.
passive aggressive. Yeah, it
Bad.
is very bad.
Hold on.
People are going to get hurt.
People are going to get hurt.
They're going to start. Yep, and
Mom,
they're going to start shipping more and
yep,
more ICE agents
yep.
in here to defend their own people.
My man, Mad
You're
Max,
going
who
to
has
get
a direct line into many sources with ICE. Max, you're the one actually who first brought this to my attention, and now I'm told it's on tape. And now I'm told a lot of Pittsburgh cops are saying, screw this, I ought to help them. This is irritating as hell for ICE agents, isn't it, Max?
It is. My buddy was pretty hot when it was his team that they were going after one target, and there ended up being three other guys in the car, and everybody's throwing fists, and tasers were deployed. Everybody's resisting, and word I got from them is they saw some Zone 3 guys just standing on the stairs with their hands in their pockets, basically watching this whole thing go down, and nobody intervened or helped or provided assistance. So it was pretty gross, I mean, in my opinion, as a civilian that respects law enforcement.
And Max, it's on tape, so there's no denying it. That they were ordered not to
Right.
help, I'm told now, which is dangerous as hell, isn't it, Max?
Right. And I don't fault the officers, the guys, the grunts, whatever you want to call them. It's coming from the top down, unfortunately. So their hands are tied. And I've actually spoken to some of them on a personal level for other things, and they flat out told me, I will be fired if I cooperate with the feds. And that they're afraid. They're afraid if they cooperate that they're going to lose their job.
Yeah,
They're
but
not gonna
Max,
be able
what
to
if
pay their
someone's
mortgage.
hurting someone? What if someone's hurting
Right.
a federal agent? Huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they have a duty to help a fellow law enforcement officer. This non-cooperation thing, and the other thing is these people don't know why these people are wanted. There's a reason they're a target.
Right.
Some of them are wanted for domestic violence, DUIs, drugs, human trafficking, money laundering for the cartels. They got one guy who was afraid he wasn't going to be able to pay his $25,000 cartel thing for getting smuggled over the border.
Patrick, read out loud this oath. I want Patrick, the attorney, to hear this. Listen to this.
Yeah, so I just found the oath of office that the officers, Pittsburgh Police specifically, that they swear when they take their service. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution and laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the laws and ordinances of the City of Pittsburgh, and obey all orders issued by my superior officers and all the rules and regulations pertaining to and governing the Department of Public Safety, Bureau of Police, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of police officer with fidelity according to the best of my knowledge and ability.
Joseph Patrick Murphy, doesn't that suggest they should have helped with these arrests?
Well, they should be leaving other law enforcement officers in the
Yeah.
lurch. You know, you've got this. There were these 287G agreements. They were generally unpopular. A lot of times, cops didn't want the extra duties. A lot of times, the local government agencies, boards of supervisors, whatever, they hated them. And you know, there's a big movement to not sign any more 287G agreements. That's fine, all right. So we're not going to act as junior ICE officers. But this takes it to a different level here. This is watching other law enforcement officers being overpowered by a bunch of thugs and not helping. This is years, centuries of tradition of cooperation between law enforcement, and it's over this issue. This is going to tear our country apart. We've got two heads
Yes.
here, and it's not like they just disagree. And I think the answer and the end of it is going to be, as much as it's unpopular, an amnesty. You know, we've got things like this going. At some point, leadership has to say, look, you know, we did this thing, and now we're going to, whoever's left, if they're clean, we're going to let them have a green card, and that's it. They did that in 1986. I'm old enough to remember, you know, that the pop song that year was "It's No Fun Being an Illegal Alien."
Yes.
And the whole country was overrun, and it was a mess. Nobody could get anywhere. Everything was in cash, taxes. The dark economies are fueled by this stuff. So at some point, you're going to look at the possibility of getting a mass deportation of all these people. It's not possible. We don't have the resources. We just, our immigration system isn't designed this way. Even if you cut corners, and they're really cutting corners right now, it would take probably 20 years to get rid of all these people.
Hey,
so
Max.
what you do is turn them.
Max, the street cops are telling me they were ordered not to help. Ordered, which tells me it came from the chief and or the mayor or both. Bad,
Oh my God,
bad sign, Max, isn't it?
Bad juju, Marty. Not good.
Yep.
The ICE guys, are they fed up with this?
Like I said, you know, they felt like they were, you know, left out in the lurch, as just Dr. Murphy said. You know, they're out there fighting for their lives against these guys who don't want to be arrested. And, you know, there's somebody that could help, but they stood down. They were told to stand down, which, you know, is BS, in my opinion.
A lot of them say they're hacked off about this and they would have stepped in and helped. I don't know, but it's not good. Max, thanks, brother.
You got it.
Joseph Patrick Murphy, thank you, sir, as always.
Of course, Marty. Thanks for having me on.
None of this is easy.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.